Okay guys, so this is just going to be a fairly quick one. So I said that I do this in stages. Now, at this point, this has a very different draw length than what I showed. You'll also notice I have a glove on. And what I've done is I've just taken a good glove that I had laying around that I didn't have the other end to. I have another one, so I left one full fingered, couple sets of mechanics gloves. This one actually has the armor on the back, which is actually kind of nice for hunting and pushing through brush and stuff. But I'm just going to let you hear the sound of this bow as I pull it and let it go. Okay, now that was enough that this is starting to be a pretty strong bow here. So I'm going to alter my grip a little bit. I'm going to come down onto this inner string and I'm going to pull that. And you can hear it's got some real poundage, guys. This is actually running at really nice tension. Now, these are both under nice tension, guys. And this one, once it's bungeed to this one at the exact tension they are, if you pull them just right, this is the effect that this bow will have. And if you're able to see here, I'm going to move right back and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Now, if I just pull this bow, you see the tension comes off of this very quickly. What's going to happen is with the bungee here, this one starts to stretch to about here and then pulls this one with it. Well, when I did the math and worked it out and pulled it, the exact right length of this is 5 inches on the old setup. Now that I've rebraced this and redone this and this to higher tension. So what I did was I started with this one, pulled it apart, completely redid it, including pulling apart my base, which is, of course, my actual bowstring. Now, what I've done is I've started by tying off to this end here. I'll just see if I can show it to you guys in decent light. Hold on, let me give you some better light here. There you go. And so you'll be able to see that on this is one piece of paracord, and it is a softer paracord because I'm doing it on a softer limb that is the softer bow, but it's anchored deep enough in 2 full inches. I measured and I made sure it's the same on both, which I didn't actually have last time. And what I noticed is now it's pulled this in a lot more and the tension has changed significantly. So there's a bunch of stuff I want to go over with you guys really quick in this video, and I'll just give you a good look at the bow the way she sits now, and you can see it's still got good length and whatnot. So I'm going to grab the measuring tape and show you guys some of the brace heights and lengths. So I'm pulling on this side so I can see the halfway mark. So I'm just going to line it up for you guys so you can see the measurements of the brace heights. Now this one here at 10.5 inches is pretty big. And now I'm seeing even more because I retensioned it. It was 10.5 before I did that. Now it's 11. And that is getting to be a serious brace height, 11.5. That's pretty big, but I was holding it a little too far forward. And if I go right to the right spot here, it's right what I was thinking, about 11. And at the back of this, I'm actually right at the halfway point. If I can just spin that around and show you so that you guys can see the actual brace heights without me messing with it. That's about perfect. Now, as far as draw length goes, I'm not going to worry about that too much right now. I just want to cover the dimensions tip to tip so that you guys can see that. Okay. So we're looking at 35.5, right at 36 inches basically from tip to tip. And then if you look at the actual string length, you are looking at just at 33, okay, which has pretty much been consistent, although I did shrink that a little bit and move it down as I did it, tightened the whole bow and pre-tensioned it, and it came out really, really nice. And then I redid this one to match that tension so that it takes up strong tension pretty much right away. And with the split between these two, it's a really powerful bow now that snaps back really fast and hard. And it's really smooth. I've installed this on the handle. That came out really well. It's not done yet because it still has to be wrapped again, but it's coming along very, very well. I have nice pink marks on my wrist, and my fingers are starting to get calloused from the amount of times I've pulled this and the amount of weight I've pulled on it trying to break it, and I can't. So I just keep putting more pressure on it. And now with this soft handle that I showed you, it's so comfortable in the hand, guys, that it actually feels, even though I know it's under more tension and I know I'm pulling more weight, it feels like less weight in the hand, and it's so much more comfortable and smoother just to start popping shots off. And you could just sit here and hold it hard in a really bowed position and be down on whatever angle I want to be and pull really nice tension on this bow and pull it right out to its maximum. So I'm going to try and give you guys an idea of what my draw is like. This is at full draw, okay? I'm pointed right at you, and you can see that it is in fact at my full draw. And I'm flipping it over, and I'm right at 31 inches, guys. Well, 31 inches is actually a nice draw length, and one of the ways they measure these is, for one, it's supposed to be halfway in between here, but I don't want to dig it into the seam. I'm actually got to glue that down a little more. So at 31 inches, that's pretty good. That's probably a 30-inch draw, and I could crank it to 32 if I want, and really crank it I have. And then I'm putting a ton of pressure on it. But I'm actually letting it settle in right now, so I just want to put mild pressure on each one and just kind of work them. Now this one is a little different because it's meant to be a short setup, and so, oh man, like that. That was nice. That's a nice strong pull. And we're looking right at 21.5 inches, guys, on the short bow. So that's showing you my draw length. Now, I said I like to use a 32 or a 34 draw. This is just short to me, but it's not. It's just so perfect. And when I really reef on it, I know I'm pulling 70 to 80 pounds, but it snaps back so fast, I'd swear I was shooting 85 or 90. It's really that. And only it's so comfortable in the left hand, up until it snaps into my wrist, I'd swear I was only shooting a 45 or 50 pound bow. But what's really nice about it is it's giving me the arrow speed and the tension here and the actual speed of recovery of a much stronger bow. It's giving me really nice feet per second, therefore, for its draw weight, which is really, really nice. And when you move on to the inside, this one is so brutal, guys. I mean, I can put 90, 100, 110 pounds, 120 pounds and really let go with it. And once I have the bungee system in place, that'll make this outer one stronger as it pulls in time with this one. And it just makes it so nice. Once this gets out to maximum stretch, I've already tested it, it works so amazing. But I want to wrap all this and lock in all this with some epoxy and make it so that it's absolutely solid there. But I want to leave enough that I can take off my string and redo all this stuff. So I just want to epoxy in some of the stuff at the base leading up to it to make it so it's solid and won't move and holds this string in place no matter what. It can't slide up because of the way it's braced, and it's all braced downward to bring this tighter and tighter and further down from this point. So because of that, I don't have to worry about it sliding back up this way. I have to worry about it sliding down. So by locking in the plots here with epoxy, I can make sure that it will. So we're not done yet. This is just the next update and the next step in what you got to do. So now that I have the handle done, it's to finalize the main tension. Now that everything's stretched in, and I've been stretching these in now for, well, this one all day today and this one all day yesterday for the top one. And it's now finally ready. It's softer stuff, but that's not bad for draw weight. That's good. And for springiness and a snappy bow like this, that's actually not a bad thing. It should give me good arrow speeds. Anyway, I'm done for this one. I still got a lot of work to do, guys. It's still, this has been epoxy just enough that it now holds position really nicely, and I can nudge it into a higher position, as you can see, with my hand and just fine tune it, and it stays in position, and I can just swing it around and shoot it like that. It's really nice. And once the arrow rest is backed with my hand, it's not going anywhere, and I can fine tune with my grip exactly where that arrow is going to go, which is really nice. I love an adjustable arrow rest on the fly. I've never had one before, and I already really, really like it. And it's made me, I was already really accurate. This just lets me shine with that and really put it where I want it, which is really nice. And it just kind of adapts. So I love it. It's actually now my favorite bow that I've ever had in my lifetime. It's kind of rainbow right now, but it won't be for long. I have plans to do this all black and red, like I said, but this is a prototype and it's a DIY channel. And so you work with what you have. Now, the other thing, this is not done yet on the handle. It needs another wrap. I might even do another wrap of paracord over top just to hold all this together and may really stitch it up nice, because that part is inside my hand and I like to have a good grip there. So I'm going to lay it up so that this is all woven across the middle and snug it up, and it'll be a really nice bow. It's almost finished, guys, but this is a long process. And if you really want a good bow, it's never been a fast thing. I mean, I can make you a shiny one fast that'll just barely be good enough to kill something, or I can make you one that'll run you raw just from using it. Because I'm starting to get those calluses from doing it, but it's not a big deal. It's not really calluses yet. I'm just rubbing my skin raw. And I knew if I kept making more pulls on it, I would absolutely need that glove. So I switched to the glove right away. Anyway, that's it. I just thought I'd show you in relation to the arrows. I'm still using them, and I have calculated the grains for weight of my arrows. I've actually been firing up to 900 grain arrows out of this. And right now it's so tight that I know that when I'm running these 900 grain arrows, they're getting at least 130, 140, 150 feet per second. And what's crazy about that is when I cut that weight, that goes up high. And if I could match the 187 that I had in my head feet per second for this longbow portion of this, I will be really excited. If I could break 200, that would be like a loving thing for me. As soon as I hit 200 feet per second, it just gets so nice. And I want to see if I can get closer to 280 or 300 with this inner one. So that is the goals, and I can't wait to get it finished and test it. So I'll see you guys at the next stage. Don't forget, we still have to wax our string, epoxy stuff in place, finish wrapping. I mean, the handle, there's a lot left to do. The other shelf, there's a lot to do. But when this is done, this will be my favorite bow I've ever had. I already know it. Keith out.